just completely combobulated because this is so heartbreaking. Final goodbyes. People are gathering for the funeral. They have been for hours for now Sergeant Christopher Fitzgerald.
So we want to get right to our Jennifer Lee, who's been live outside the Basilica, and tell us what you're seeing so far.
Hey, Alex and Mike. So the doors are now open to the Basilica, and they've just started letting people file in for this public visitation period. And we want to show you just how long this line is. It goes all the way down the block here, and around the corner we're seeing members of law enforcement from all over the country who are attending this funeral today. And we want to go to video as well from an hour ago when Sergeant Fitzgerald's motorcade arrived. Dozens of law enforcement saluted him, the pallbearers carrying his casket inside. You can hear the pipes and drums, the honor guard here as well from multiple departments. Very emotional with those serving closest to him from the Temple University Police Department tearing up. And we talked to a deputy who traveled all the way from Denver for this funeral.
This means like great support that we are here and we're able to come into a community that we have never been before, and to be doing this, it is so an honor to be able to serve with, as I said, dignity and humanity to the community. It's brotherlyhood that you'll be able to just support the officers, don't matter where they're located, because we all do and serve one common goal, is to serve and protect.
The deputy from Denver you just heard from, she's here to pay her respects and show support, mentioning Sergeant Fitzgerald's father, who is a chief of police and emergency management for Denver's Regional Transportation District. His dad also served in the Philadelphia Police Department for nearly 2 decades before serving as chief of police for various agencies, including Allentown. And we did see members of law enforcement from Allentown Police represented here today as well. And back out here live at the Basilica, you can see the projection screen there, a picture of Sergeant Fitzgerald with his wife, child, picture of him. And, you know, it looks like this line that is now filing into the Basilica has taken a pause. We just saw dozens and dozens of people head inside for public visitation, including former council member Alan Dom. So there will be a lot of public officials here today to pay their respects and show the family love and support during this very, very difficult grieving period. So huge line, many of them members of law enforcement. And what they're handing out to the people entering the Basilica right now, take a look at this. So a photo of him, and if you open it up, this is Sergeant Fitzgerald, his wife, the night of their wedding. And it just shows the colorful life that he led, not only in serving the public and protecting them, but also, you know, we've been talking about how he loved running in various neighborhoods in Philadelphia, and that was his way of combating the gun violence epidemic that we see here in the city. And of course, he was an avid Philly sports fan as well. So this is going to be a long morning of grieving, and of course, we will continue to stay out here and bring you live coverage. Mike and Alex.
Jennifer, thank you so much for showing us the program. Since you have it in your hands, and there's lovely pictures there, were there any words from the family that were printed on the program, or any scriptures, or anything of note?
Yes, actually.
Oh, look at this.
Loving you was one of the best decisions of my life. And a photo of Sergeant Fitzgerald and his wife Marissa on their wedding day. And then on the back, 2 Timothy. Henceforth, there is laid, it's hard to read, laid up for me the crown of righteousness.
You probably know already.
Yes, you probably do. Which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing.
Yeah.
So as we read that, we want to bring in Dr. Waller, Pastor Waller, of Enon Tabernacle Church. What are your thoughts on that verse?
Well, I mean, that verse is all about Paul saying he did the best he could do with what he had, with his life. He defended the faith. He defended the things of the faith. And he was ready now to be offered up. You know, we always wrestle with that verse when someone is 31 years old.
31.
And that is something that everyone will wrestle with. Why do bad things happen to good people? What does that mean? What does it mean for our own lives to recognize that none of us are promised the 70 years, 80 years, and it's rough to wrap our heads around. And I think but we are also acutely aware, one of the things with so many law enforcement here, I think, and this is part of the conversation,
right.
I think everyone in law enforcement is acutely aware that this probably didn't have to happen. There are things that we could be and should be doing as a nation to be supportive of, challenge the bad ones, but supportive of those good men and women in uniform. And right now, while we're having a national conversation about policing and so forth, at times we err on the side of being too restrictive to them, where in times we have erred on the side of giving them too much room. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this reminds us that this conversation of how do we embrace law enforcement, how do we give them everything they need, including the laws that help them do their job, I think that's what you're looking at when you see so many men and women in uniform. We need to remember that they are an important part of this puzzle, not the only part, but an important part. And his death is a reminder to us that we still have work to do on this issue.
And hearing that, I fought the good fight, and hearing all the work that he did in the community for the fight against gun violence, and all the volunteering that he did, and the different members and neighborhoods that he was willing to go into to have those tough conversations.
That's why it's so hard to take.
Yeah. It is difficult. He was a good young man. He was friends with a number of the young men in our church. One of my adoptive sons, if you will, is very close to him. And this is hitting all of them in a difficult place, because this is the reality of our city. But it also calls us to remember that it's a larger conversation, not just about Philadelphia, because his murderer was from Bucks County.
That's right.
And that introduces a whole other conversation that I hope that we will not push under the rug, because that colors this and takes it to another conversation as well.
All right, I've got to take a break, come back. Thank you again for being here.